Update, and it is about to get real in crypto. They thought they were going to get a dip, and they're not getting one. And they are going to FOMO in, and I'm going to explain how, why, and give you a shocking preview of when it might end. But that is not the focus. This is like equities where they bore you and then they gap you. Want to know more? Stick around. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if the content works for you, hit the like button. That helps me help you. Speaking of which, this show is brought to you by my Patreon group. We have this very subtle QR code here, $15 a month. And this weekend, we debuted a deluxe webinar, which is for sale in the Patreon store if you missed it. 90 minutes of education and strategy planning for the rest of this cycle. What's old is new again. Anybody remembers those webinars? They are back. Jump on into that Patreon and check it out. The link is in the comments and it's in the description down below, and the live stream will have a clickable link when the stream is over. Okay, let's welcome who is here. Rave Song Records, first on the stream. Art at the night shift at the Amsterdam airport. Sir, I want to tell you that's the all-time record. There was a dude in a UPS truck in Brooklyn. You are now in first place of the most fantastic place to watch the market update. FD White, Pancakes and Peanut Butter, Aiken, Travis, what's up? Okay. Reverend Flashback, Megan is back. Right? Megan, who explained to me about Chainlink. Where would I be without Megan? Justin, Ocean County, right? Steve Mesa. Oh my God, where's Steve J with ETH DeFi? Right? Shepdog, love it. Better late than never. Richard Barry, what's going on? All right. Going right to the news. Let's get busy. We got a lot to talk about here. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is short videos. So I have been doing YouTube now for 18 months. I have been hammering away as a low cap channel, and a bit of a breakthrough is occurring, and I want to tell you about it. Let me ask you something. In a relatively sideways market before today, where are normie people looking? What are they looking for? And what is the big machine giving them regarding Bitcoin? Well, the answer to that is me. There is no more Bitcoin, as in like it's being pulled off exchanges, right? And BlackRock is hoovering it up. 21,000 views, which is never before seen, given that I have 6.5K followers. But then it's also starting to happen. Like, what happens when Bitcoin stops 4,000 views? Why does crypto go down? Why does Bitcoin do better on weekends? Why does everybody think Bitcoin should go down? Why is crypto so choppy? Now, this is stuff I talk about on the market update, but somebody's looking for this because they've never seen these numbers. And that has got to be the normie world, because the crypto world is already here looking for 100x like all of us. So who is the big boys feeding this to? They're feeding it to Legacy, because I look like Legacy. Now, just in case you forgot why we're here in crypto, a country in Africa blocks access to Coinbase and other exchanges as their currency has problems. 2017, there was an African nation at the Texas Bitcoin conference. Bitcoin was trading at 5, and in that country, Bitcoin was trading at 10. Wherever Bitcoin is trading in the emerging market world, regular price eventually catches up. Okay. Warren Buffett admits Berkshire Hathaway's days of eye-popping gains are over. Yes, Warren, they are, because you're not in crypto. Warren telling you that, there's no more upside in stocks. I mean, it's not like the guy doesn't know stocks, but he's just forgetting an asset class. Okay. Banks struck back. Okay. Banks trying to push and get all kinds of different loans and fight over the crumbs in legacy. Long Bitcoin, short the banks. Come March, it's going to be time to be short the banks, because that's when the Fed is going to end this, almost like corporate, let's call it corporate assistance for banks. Okay. That's when that ends. Okay. Long Bitcoin, short the banks. Now we're going to talk about this later, but AI boom catapults Nvidia into tech's big league. Two things about Nvidia. One, Nvidia was the catalyst for the takeoff in AI cryptos. Don't ask me why, but when everything was okay with Nvidia's earnings, AI coins, boom, went up. That was the topic of last market update. Now, what does a semiconductor company's earnings, yes, it's AI connected, what does their earnings have to do with AI crypto? Nothing. Nothing. The AI cryptos were undervalued relative to AI in the stock market. And then one day everybody just woke up and go, oh my God, Nvidia went from a $1 trillion company to a $2 trillion company like that. Why are all these other cryptos so cheap? It's as simple as that. Okay. So we're going to go over the charts of Nvidia. We're going to go over how Bitcoin is trading more like a stock, and it's why trading types are getting hosed right now, right? The advantage has just recently shifted. But this thing about how Bitcoin trades like a stock, and whatever Nvidia can do, crypto can do too. Total two, or total crypto market cap without Bitcoin and altcoin market cap can pull an Nvidia. So if you think nice rally today, February 26th, I don't think this is over. I think you got 10 days of just rampage to the upside. Okay. Crypto exchanges halts withdrawals. Hong Kong-based exchange. Again, the media addicted to bad news. Okay. Bitcoin traders see prices correcting. You guys are all going to pay 58, nothing personal. When everyone wants a correction, they never get one, because they all wanted it to go down to 48 so they could buy. Everyone likes it tidy. It's what the guy who taught me how to trade the 10-year note used to say. Everyone likes it tidy. Goes down to 48K. We all genuflect. It goes to 60. Wrong. You have to sit there with it at 51 when it looks terrible, with Asia selling it every night, and go, you know what? I'm taking this. It's going up. I'm buying it at the top of the range. Sure enough, 5% God candle follows. I don't think this is over. Matter of fact, the equivalent God candle in ETH could be even bigger. Because again, who's expecting that? Nobody was talking about 60K Bitcoin 2 weeks ago. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of smart people in the market, right? I get that. And I respect that. But from a point of view, like my background, who understands what's going on here? I do, right? It was 60K Bitcoin when it was at 50, and at 53 or 54, you might want to be talking 64 or 74 on a spike. Most importantly, I think you also want to be talking about 4K in ETH, which nobody is talking about. And how and why that could happen, that's in the PowerPoint. You definitely don't want to go anywhere. MicroStrategy's Twitter account hacked, leading to a lot of money being stolen. You know, I guess you've made it big when you're the target of some kind of problem like this, right? It's so insidious what people do out there. and how much people get hurt by this. But you know what? We got to carry on anyway. We got to carry on anyway. And again, if they're after MicroStrategy, it's a sign that they finally arrived. Now, if you're long MicroStrategy stock, you're probably in for a huge amount of upside gratification in the short term. In 10 days, take the money. Take the money. Move it to Bitcoin mining stocks or wait. But again, you know, these guys are for real. $100 million in crypto payments traced to a scam. Now, notice what the media loves, right? The media loves negative crypto stuff. They can't see the benefit. We need a system that runs parallel to legacy. This includes AI, metaverse, gaming, DeFi, all of it. Like decentralized data sharing, decentralized medical records. You watch by July of this year that anybody who was writing negative stuff about crypto is going to feel like a moron, right? Because if this is what the media wants, no, it's not going to happen. And my personal favorite, where is it? Oh, it's in the PowerPoint. Okay. I'm shifting to PowerPoint because we have a classic coming up from Bloomberg. Love the news media. We couldn't do it without them. Okay. I'm also going to pull out something where we're going to look at Bitcoin predictions from a book by Charlie Lee from the last cycle, and we're going to check to see how he's doing. Okay. This is your market update. As a reminder, this show is brought to you by my Patreon. Altcoin Showdown. Okay. Access to private big webinars that feature education. 2 new small cap picks I just put in there before the market update, as well as the 6th Street Crypto podcast, which is like a 10 minutes of your personal crypto coach 6 days a week. Bitcoin spot ETFs are starting to see slower investor interest. Oh, well, thank goodness, because now we can just take it up to 60K, right? In other words, everybody bought the hype and then everyone stopped because everybody thought it was too expensive. So it's just going to continue to go up, right? If this thing said spot Bitcoin ETF holders wearing lampshades on their head, wearing ugly Christmas sweaters, and everyone's getting rich and you're not, yeah, okay. Then we exit. Okay. If everyone's like, well, it's going to go down, no one wants the ETF. Thank goodness. Ramming speed. Bitcoin predictions from the last cycle. Let's check it out. Warren Buffett will eventually come around. Well, it was Michael Saylor and Cathie Wood and the 9 people who got the ETF. So Warren never got there. And Katie barred the door if he ever does. I bet he's going to buy the Bitcoin mining companies because the only way to get a huge amount of Bitcoin is to own the Bitcoin mining companies. So if there's any correction in the stock market, those stocks are going to be a buy, not investment advice. Okay, other things. Bitcoin will be a leading crypto. Okay, people will stop lumping other cryptos with Bitcoin. Okay, so that's a little bit of a Bitcoin maxi action going on there. I guess Bitcoin is obviously head and shoulders above, you know, your average pancake swap coin. But this AI narrative, the future of technology, the need to have, I don't know, at least 6 layer ones running the future of the internet. I think it's okay to lump other cryptos in with Bitcoin if we need a decentralized future. As a matter of fact, and I've got the charts to show for it, the Bitcoin complex, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and yes, you guessed it, Zcash, okay, may be about to get super perky. Additional predictions. Government will work out regulatory issues. At consensus in last year in Austin, the whole conference was about how regulators were going to put the whole space out of business. Want to be successful in crypto? Here's a hint. Avoid groupthink. And of course, get an original 300 Spartans t-shirt for the 300 people who joined, the first 300 people who joined Patreon. Governments can go sit on the sidelines while the decentralized future unfolds. Bitcoin bears will always stay bearish. You know what, guys? If you're bearish, please stay bearish. If you're waiting for 37K, please continue to wait. Please. I mean, you may get 47, but you're going to get 74 first. The only way to get 47 is to get 74. Then you get the correction. Okay? It's just like stocks. The only way to get the correction is to get ridiculous overextension. Then you get it. Not when we're doing stair step on the way up. But, you know, if you're bearish, please continue to be bearish. More institutions will participate. I think that's been covered. Bitcoin legacy products will expand. That's true. Bitcoin ETF will happen. Hello. Everyone will use Bitcoin by 2050. What happens if having a Satoshi is a form of identification or a form of status? What if a sat is a flex if Bitcoin is massively higher? Or what if a sat is something that helps you live on as universal basic income? More comedy. Dominance in Asia won't last. Yeah, because they all packed up and went to Texas. Famous saying by a famous person from Texas. I can't repeat it, but it's basically like, yeah, I'm going to Texas. There will be more women in Bitcoin, like Kathy Wood, like Lochez, the 300 Spartan in the group. They're all coming, people. They're all coming. My YouTube subscriber base is 95% men. What happens when it's 50-50? Where's crypto going to be? Everyone's like, I really, everyone in crypto is so screwed up. Like, I really can't buy it. I can't. Really? Well, you know what? Please change your mind, because the normie people who, when I show you the S&P chart, who they love to buy high and sell higher, they're not going to have a problem paying 58. Okay. There may be a correction after they do it, but they're not going to have a problem. More people will appreciate a permissionless system. So how are things going out there in the world, huh? How you feeling at the grocery store? How you feeling when you look at stuff about, I don't know, politics? How you feeling about that? Mining will continue to be robust as Hut 8 Mining buys something, builds something bigger than the cyber factory, the gigafactory, excuse me, in Austin. Wallets and exchanges will be easier to use. Yes, Phantom is easier, but I'm getting old waiting for sending crypto to not be cutting and pasting. Okay, let's see who else is here. Okay, CD is here. Maybe a Band-Aid. Welcome, Patriot Caveman. Oh my God, Jorge, Theta on fire. Like, there are people in this stream who have been like, what about Theta? What about audio? What about DeFi Perp? Oh my God, where is Steve with DeFi Perp? Vision 77, BitBoy Al, Sunny Day, Brick Dreams, Johannes, Steve Mesa, Schiller T-Bone, a member of the initial webinar. Welcome. Welcome. Aiken is here. Pancakes and peanut butter. Okay, Bitcoin. Let's get to it. Hidden pivot analysis with a diamond bonus. Okay, so what's a diamond? What's a flag? What's it mean? Well, when you break out of a diamond, you usually get a big move. I think that's covered. Now, diamonds, like flags, they fly at half mast. That means this is the flagpole, this is the flag, and now we're building the rest of the flagpole. As far as this analysis is concerned, I've explained it in the, I've gone into detail about how to draw this in Patreon, in that webinar, which is in the store. This thing showed there was a base made on top of 50 and the upside target is 62. That's it. And that's the market update. No, I'm kidding. Total 3 now. So going from Bitcoin to altcoins. Okay. Total 3, the resistance for, I don't know, how can I count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 days. The total 3, which is the stall in Solana, could not move. Then last night, you got a stealth breakout. This morning, you had to deal with Asia selling it. I don't know. Every morning, Asia sells it. I don't know, because they just feel the need. They got to get dollars, get out of the financial system over there. I don't know. But whatever. They sell it. London and New York come in and buy it. And this thing rockets up, and there's nobody home until 655 billion. Right? So we're going to add 80 billion to crypto market, total altcoin market cap. Solana, near, they could be huge. You know, for the sake of one of my readers, I hope it's Avalanche too. Okay, there's going to be more than one layer 1, and some of these things that have been outperforming, like Caspa, SEI, SUI, I mean, these things could have climactic blow-off tops. Now you're like, Bill, 80 billion. That's a lot. People, Nvidia added 1 trillion. Not didn't get to 1 trillion. They added 1. They went from 1T to 2T like that. 80 billion? Nvidia flosses with 80 billion. I mean, whatever it is they can do over there, we here in Little Crypto Land, we can do 80B. Trust me. Solana. Okay. Bravo. This is what people do in bull markets, right? First, they take it up, then they frustrate you. They break it out above 105, and then they do a fantastic job of getting everybody out by wicking it down multiple times below 105, making it look horrible, wicking it down this morning, and then breaking out. They got everybody out, put everybody to sleep. There is absolutely no reason why Solana can't go to 131. And if you're looking for a catalyst, I'm going to give it to you. Okay. Elon Musk is going to compete with other players in Silicon Valley. Recent events have incentivized him to do so. And I absolutely cannot believe that there isn't going to be somebody who is going to embrace the Solana phone who is really big. Maybe it's Elon, maybe it's somebody else. But that phone is going to start mattering, right? Because as that prediction said, the world is going to start appreciating a permissionless system. By the way, anybody lose cell service last week? Wonder how that happened. How about decentralized cell service? How about it? Okay. If we're going to add $80 billion to total crypto market cap, you best just get out of the way of this thing, right? It's like this thing has bored everybody. And if it starts, the best way it can happen is if it actually starts kind of slow, just like Bitcoin, slowly, 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 then suddenly. Total 2. Now, if you thought I was full tilt crazy on Bitcoin and Solana, oh my God, look at this. You know, you could add $54 billion to total 2. And of course, that's all ETH. I mean, that could be Solana, but I mean, you know, total crypto market cap without Ethereum, AKA Web3, should be worth $1 trillion. Because last cycle, we were like, oh my God, it's worth $1 trillion. You know, this is so toppy. Now it's like, yeah, whatever. Government spends $1 trillion in a month or a quarter. Okay, Nvidia put $1 trillion on its market cap, as I've told you. Who cares? The Magnificent Seven, the 7 biggest tech stocks in the United States are worth more than every other stock market put together. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Nvidia. So here's what Nvidia looks like. This gap was the size of Ethereum market cap. Okay, this is Nvidia going from 480 to 800 like an altcoin. This gap move here was the biggest market cap gain in stock market history, just this gap. And this addition of not 1 trillion, it didn't get there. That was an additional trillion, because what's a trillion between friends? Total crypto market cap just hit 2 trillion, and they can add another 600 billion to that. I mean, that's 60K Bitcoin and 4K ETH, or 74 Bitcoin and I don't know, 3,500 ETH. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, this thing has a huge amount of room because people have missed it. They missed it. They assumed it was going to dip, and that was wrong. And ETH just continued to grind up in their face. Grind. And people are still asleep about ETH. They're not getting it. Like Chainlink, Megan, love you. Chainlink went, and then Uniswap went. And the greatest contrarian trade of all time could be ETH going to 4K with ETH-based DeFi coming back. Aave, Synthetics. Synthetics dead for 800 days. Want to know what goes up? The stuff everyone gave up on. Everyone gave up on AGIX, these guys from Singularity Net. I even stopped pounding the table, even though I did so for months and months and months. Stuff just went straight up. A classic study in DeMark analysis, which is now exclusively in Patreon, except for this, because I love you guys. Okay. So this is Bitcoin. And in the first part of a trend, you go, these numbers, these bars get labeled 1 through 9, right? Like the high is higher than the high 2 days ago. And if that's true, the bar gets a number. So we go 1 through 9. And then if there's going to be a big trend, there'll be a pause. Now, normally the pause is for 1 day, but in Bitcoin, it was extra annoying. The pause was like a week and a half. But the trend is still intact. And these red numbers are going to go from 1 to 13, and we're now at a 6. We have 7 more up days. Now, are they going to be huge up days? I don't know. Can we get to 58 or 60? I would think so. In other words, at 50, everyone was talking about 50. At 54, I want to talk about either 60 or 74 or something wild. I don't know how wild, but one of these coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, are going to get wild because people missed it. Okay, Ethereum. Now, if I calm down, hidden pivot analysis, again, really nice bounce off 2766. Teaching my people how to do this. 33.59 is an upside target. If ETH takes out 33.59, faces are going to melt. But we're going to be reasonable, chill, 33.59. ETH monthly, speaking of faces melting, there's no resistance on ETH monthly until we get to where the bear market started from at 3,900. You know, like, does this, like, I just forget the numbers. Does this look like it's going to stop for the month of February? I mean, did it stop on the way down once it got going? No, it's the same. It's the same read. It's like, just look left. Oh, where did it start? 3,900. Bitcoin, 58K. Is this going to stop here? Well, probably. Doesn't have to. You could have some wild blow off top, right? In other words, the only way to get 47 is to get 65 or 62 from the hidden pivot analysis, right? In other words, this is called, in equities, we call it the overshoot, right? You know how Solana, they stop everybody out on the downside and they take it up? Well, just flip it around. If 58 is the line, they may print 62 before it comes off hard. But everybody's too worried about it coming off hard, so no one wants to buy. And can you imagine if nobody wanted to buy at 50, who's going to want to buy at 54? No one, which is why it's going to go to 58. S&P. Here are the facts of the matter. Bitcoin now trades like a stock, right? So here, how does S&P trade? All right, so S&P goes up and then sits and does nothing. Bores you to death. Then it goes straight up, gets overextended, then the Fed hikes rates, they kill it. Like, this will probably happen to Bitcoin in somewhere in March or April. And then when everyone's out, when everyone's down in the mouth, when it's all over, when it's going to zero, it goes straight up and everyone's looking for a dip and you don't get one. All you get are these sideways diamond action things and it just keeps going. Right? Like, okay, if S&P can do this, so can crypto. And I have no idea what the rationale to buy S&P is with the Fed ending a bank liquidity sugar program in March. Why are you buying this? It's crazy. Portfolio managers going to be like, oh my God, I got to have the Bitcoin mining stocks. I got to have Bitcoin. I got to have the ETF. I mean, it's like a no-brainer. Like Warren Buffett said, his stocks aren't going up anymore. I don't know if you want to believe that, but I mean, the guy does know stocks. He just didn't go to the next thing. Now, speaking of the next thing, want to get wild? Let's get wild. Okay. T-Bone says he had a blast this past weekend on the private AMA. Okay. The ultra deluxe webinar is back. Q-Boyd is here. Welcome. The Don. Okay. BTDR. I will do my best. T-Bone, what I miss. Sir, you're never too late. You're never too early. You're right on time. Nobody wants to buy Bitcoin, so it's going up. And nobody believes that the Bitcoin complex, which is, fast Bitcoin, cute Bitcoin, private Bitcoin, can go up. If nobody thinks Bitcoin can go up, nobody's following this. This is a head and shoulders bottom on Bitcoin Cash Weekly. Now, I realize this hasn't broken out yet, but there's hidden pivot work and a neckline on this head and shoulders bottom, right? What's a head and shoulders bottom? Press it down, come back. Press it down, come back. Press it down. I mean it. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Up only. And nobody does up only like Bitcoin Cash, right? I don't understand why, if Bitcoin becomes an ETF asset, why Bitcoin Cash couldn't do what they wanted to do, which is be a payment platform and possibly even a layer one. Like, I don't understand why this can't go to 500. Like, all at once. I mean, what's $250 in Bitcoin Cash between friends? Now, Litecoin, a little blurry here, but this is from Altcoin Showdown, where, our guys got a 20% gain in Near because that came out of the showdown as a top layer one. Litecoin has literally done nothing. These lines down here are like Bollinger Band width. So in other words, when Litecoin has zero volatility for an extended period of time, like it did in 2020 and 2022, Litecoin can wake up. Now, of course, here, when the Fed was rolling out the sugar, Litecoin exploded. 2022 was a much more muted situation. But volatility in Litecoin has died. And if Bitcoin is awake and Bitcoin Cash is awake, then this can be awake. It doesn't have to be glamorous to be 100% return. Matter of fact, it's paid all year to buy stuff. Uniswap, the classic example, you can get a 50% return in a Coinbase big cap. Just you got to be able to find it. And of course, you know where to go to find it. Okay, macro, gold in a triangle about to break out. Just a reminder, okay? This is like up only in gold. What's the cryptocurrency that does the best when the dollar goes lower and precious metals go up? Ready? Ethereum. Watch out for a macro bullish catalyst in Ethereum. Who's talking about that? Nobody, which is why I want to talk about it. Okay. CRB, the Commodity Research Bureau Index. Basically, this is food metals with a little energy. What happens if commodities break out as a way of devaluing the dollar? Like, the dollar can go lower in multiple ways. Like the yen and the euro could go up and the dollar could go down. Or people could just start coming after commodities like gold and maybe even oil. What happens if you have a gold rally as a way of saying about the dollar. Speaking of the dollar index. What's the most bearish thing in the whole world? A failed bullish pattern. So they push the dollar down, it comes back. They push it down, it comes back. They push it down, it comes back. It breaks out, but then it starts to slip back below the neckline. Is this a failed head and shoulders bottom? If it is, no one is talking about macro. Stocks overvalued, dollar's got to go down, gold's got to go up. Like, this stuff would normally be like, okay, boomer rambling stuff. But guys, macro matters in legacy. And they are hoovering up all the Bitcoin and murmuring about going after ETH. Nobody is going to wait for an ETH ETF if gold breaks out and the dollar starts going down. Just saying. Just saying. Now, let's go to altcoins. Okay, Megan says, any thoughts on how the total crypto market cap is going this cycle? Okay, so my answer on that is higher than you think, slower than you think, except for May and July. Like May to July, that's going to be another cycle like October to December was, right? You just got to not get wrecked on any correction around the halving. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I just, I think Bitcoin should be worth what Nvidia is worth. So if Nvidia is worth 2T, Bitcoin should be worth 2T. Okay. And I think Ethereum should be worth 1T because again, it's the future of the internet. And who knows if Solana can catch up. Right. So, I mean, that could be 4T. At least, right? I mean, again, the Magnificent Seven, and what happens if there's a Magnificent Seven in crypto? Like in crypto, we have, there's Bitcoin, there's ETH, there's Solana. Some people are going to argue Cardano. Some people are going to argue XRP, or that the next multi-billion-dollar coins are either things like Near or stuff that's going to come out of nowhere. There's so much stuff that can come out of nowhere. Okay, Algorand. This is coming out of Nowheresville, right? You have this huge rounding bottom. So I've discussed this in some educational webinars. Everyone's talking about teacups and handles. Let's talk about what that actually means. Okay, you have down. Whoops. You have down. And then you have give up, winter. And then you have rally, I don't believe it. Then you have FOMO. Then after the FOMO, they drop it and they just leave it. So down, winter, FOMO is how they make the cup. How do they make the handle? Well, what they do is all the bag holders from the decline are selling to all the people who are trying to FOMO into strength. And what you get is this awful, choppy. It doesn't go anywhere. Every rally fails. Every decline comes back. Nobody can figure it out. It's like I give up. I'm sick of this thing. And then boom, it just goes. Just happened today in Matic. It's probably going to happen in Algorand. I just can't believe it wouldn't. Right? Near, totally different story. Right? Near, everyone wanted it at $20. It was disgusting at 50 cents. Now it's at $3 and no one wants to buy it. Okay. Patreon people got in here, $4.30. That's the next objective. That's the old high. They take that out. It was up 10% today. May underperform short term, but if Near takes out $4.30, it's going to $6. Right. In other words, Solana is going to take something with it. Last time Solana took everything with it. Maybe it takes Near, maybe it takes Avalanche. All you need is one catalyst in one of these layer ones, and there's a group of them that are going to go. Right. My guess is Near. My hope is Avalanche. Okay. Synthetics. Oh my God. Anybody want to go dumpster diving? Right. Anybody want to go dumpster diving? Okay. Okay. Synthetics hits 377. breaks out. Is anybody going to want to do Wall Street on the blockchain? Somebody will. Maybe it's GMX, maybe it's SEI, or maybe this wakes up. I'm telling you, if this woke up, I swear this would blow up everybody. Okay. Aiken is asking if the Patreon AMA will be a monthly opportunity for members. Actually, we're talking about doing it weekly. Okay. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Again, the replay is available in the Patreon store. You can join for free and then get the webinar. Okay. So we're trying to make the Patreon so that people can come in at a low price, get good content, and then as we add premium stuff, they can add if they want to. Cardano, some outside the box action. If Cardano holds above 61 cents, that's always an if. It hasn't been able to, but you could be talking about 78 cents. Again, if total 3 goes the way we think it's going to go, or the way the charts say it's going to go, then what's going to move? Like, what's going to come out of nowhere? AGIX is Cardano connected, right? So it's all theoretically possible. Okay, Gala Games. Okay, big move today, but where has it gone? Gala Games is exactly where it was back when the whole debacle started back in April, right? In other words, this died right at this level. Now it's trying to come back to life. Don't see any reason why Gala can't go to 0.04 because it's above 0.032. Like, gaming has not been traded. No part of it has been traded. Right? So these narratives that have not been traded, DeFi, right? They traded AI, and what happens if all these other sectors, just like stocks, what happens if all these other sectors play catch up? And that's the market update. Steve Mesa says, no Litecoin, as soon as it moves, it's over. True. My experience is if Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash are going up when the market's going down, that can be the end. Okay. But what I'm thinking is that Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash are going to have these insane catch-up rallies to Bitcoin. Okay. Steve says he doesn't care about macro, buy crypto. Steve, I love you, man. I have no problem with that. Just trying to say there are catalysts for ETH, right? There are catalysts for ETH, okay, that people aren't focused on. And that if it's Bitcoin and ETH taking off, that's how you pull total crypto market cap higher. Megan is saying Solana can hear me now at 111. Okay. Steve bought Cardano 2 hours ago. NSO Skull is here. Okay. Megan says, why not have a diverse portfolio? No need to choose. A bit of AVAX, NEAR, SOL, and ETH. Let's talk about that. Well, I already talked about it in the super webinar, but let's put it this way. You know, you're going to want to have your core holdings as one part of the group. And then you're going to have another part where you're moving in and out. So the details are in the webinar, but obviously your core positions are going to be the stuff you believe in. And oh my God, Zcash is over 28. Where is my lampshade? Okay. Megan is like, you need an update on DOT. I do. We could do a whole show on is DOT dead? Is it? Okay. Now, a lot of people think DOT is dead because they think that ETH is dead. Everything from the last cycle is dead. Now, everything from the last cycle is not going to make it, but this market after Uniswap, you cannot say nothing, this stuff can't rally. Cannot say that. So I liked Polkadot on the way up. Polkadot did the same dance that all these altcoins did, right around $7. And I don't see any reason why it can't go to 9. Right. And if it goes to 9, it can go to 12. But, you know, look at this. Look at these wicks, right? Like, this is part and part Asia selling it every morning. And This is a great example of what this market has done to people. Breakout, wick it down, stop everyone out, come back, look like it's a breakout, down, back, kill it, sit below the thing, keep wicking it down. They wicked it down yesterday or last trading session. They can't stop wicking it down in Asia, but they keep bringing it back. Now, is Polkadot for the next cycle? I don't know, honestly, but that can be good in the short term if we're going to add $80 billion to total crypto market cap and people have, packed it in on Polkadot, right? I mean, you made a bunch of money, right? Everybody probably, this was way farther than anyone thought. The dip was way nastier. This looks just like S&P, right? Remember when I showed you S&P, how it went straight up and then they killed it? And then down here, it was the abyss and no one cared. And then it just slowly starts building. And by the way, this slow, gradually, then suddenly, gradually, like straight up is no good. Gradually. See it. NYC Bull Riders in the house. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anybody who's been watching the short videos, who's joining the live stream, welcome. Welcome to the show. Like I said, the normie world is getting fed information on Bitcoin, and I'm only too happy that it's me. The rate of consumption on that work, I mean, normally if it's the top of a rally and I'm saying something wild, okay, yeah, maybe you go, all right, that's enough. But if short after short after short is getting fed to people looking for information on Bitcoin, there's a lot of normies out there who are coming. And everybody thinks the Bitcoin ETF is no good, and that is wrong. Megan's been hodling DOT forever. She was right on Chainlink. Do yourself a favor. Don't fade Megan. Okay, Ondo. Okay, wait, we did have a request here. I'm staying with Ondo. Okay, it's good until it's not. Okay, so Ondo on a 4-hour chart is doing this go up, make a flag, go up thing. As long as that continues, as long as you don't see a reverse God candle break, I'm staying with it. Okay. I want to say somebody was asking for BTPR. Nope, I wrote it down wrong. Okay, I wrote it down wrong. Somebody will put it in an additional comment. Okay, Richard Barry says total crypto market cap is at 2.2 trillion, and I'm so bullish I can't see straight. I'm telling you, people, you get in the way of this thing, you're going to regret it. And then I'm going to give you a hint. You're going to ride this cowboy style, and then you're going to let him go crazy, and then we're going to sell it to him in March, and we're going to hang out. So you better get while the getting is good. Everyone who's looking for a correction, yeah, they'll eventually get it after this thing moons in their face. Okay, Rose built a huge base, okay, over here on 11.5 cents. Don't see any reason why it can't move to the next hidden pivot level at 14 cents. The eventual target is probably 19, but, I don't want to be an idiot. There's no reason why altcoins cannot go back up and retest where they were. I don't want to be a crazy moon boy, but don't be fooled by this thing where Asia sells this thing every night. Somebody over there is trying to get dollars, right? Because there are problems in some of the financial systems over there. So they're liquidating, they're selling crypto to get dollars, and then London and New York come in and just hoover it up. Shepdog is asking about Render. Okay, so we've got some really good information on Render in our premium group. Okay, the big level in Render straight up and down is 7.65. I don't know if there are any token unlocks going on in Render. Okay, when those token unlocks are over, Okay. I can imagine an upside target eventually of 19. And if it's above 7.5, I'm drawing something close to 12. Okay. So that is a huge amount of Kool-Aid for render holders. Don't drink it all in one sitting. Okay. This is a 4-hour chart moving into a daily. Okay. There we go. That's a lot of Kool-Aid in render. Look, Multi-Coin Capital, this is what they own. It's this huge hedge fund in Austin. Solana, Render, Graph, Filecoin. They are talking to big sovereign wealth funds about these things. These coins have sponsorship. Okay. So yeah, Render may stop at 7.6. Bitcoin may go up. You know, if Render sits and doesn't back off 7.6, that's telling you what could happen next. Okay. Johanna says, I never wanted to buy Xi, but when I looked at the chart last night, it was a huge base, but he bought Crow instead. You know, there's a cup and handle brewing in Doge, would you believe? Okay. The graph, as I was saying, and I've talked to people about this. Okay. This bored everyone to death. People, this is an accumulation cone, right? So, you know, it dies and then it does, the bigger the base, the higher than the space, but it does it at a tilt. Crazy, right? That's the Jesse Livermore accumulation cone. Now, if you zoom in on these candlesticks, right, notice, okay, everyone knows where this line is. They take it up, they bring it back. They take it up. They can't rally it. You know, they don't want to sell it. They don't want to buy it. It just sits here. The longer it sits here, even though this thing ramped, people, okay, look at the weekly chart of this. I mean, this accumulation cone that everybody's afraid of paying 29 cents for, the high in this thing was like $2. Okay. Multicoin owns this, right? And if no one else owns it, then it's just going to keep going, right? So there's stuff that has sponsorship, and then there's stuff that people have totally given up on. Traveler 88. Oh my God, there's someone who comes on the stream. I don't know if it's Traveler, and has been saying, what about Theta? What about Theta? I'm like, I saw Theta moving, and I'm like, oh my God. God bless this guy who's been holding on to Theta. And you know what? There's a point here, folks. There's a point here. Okay. So here's how smart I am. So I'm pretty sure to eat my humble pie on air. I'm pretty sure the last time somebody called in about Theta, I said, yeah, it's a coin for the last cycle. It's forming a head and shoulders top. Maybe, you know, call your accountant, tax loss sell. Oh, let's take it up 70 cents. You think you know something in this market. You think you know what's going to go up, and then it's Uniswap and Theta. That's why what Megan was saying, it's not just, this is what I'm telling all the Patreon people, and now I'm telling you, it's not just timing the market, it's time in the market now. It's like stocks. Yes, when the Fed stops giving the banks the sugar, there may be a time to take profits in March. But that doesn't mean you get all the way out of the market, because if those dips in March and April are shallow in front of the eclipse in April, if those dips are shallow, you're going to have a May to July move that's going to blow your mind. And it's not just going to be in the small caps. The big caps could blow your mind. But let me calm down. The point is, you think you know what's going to go up. I can help you with that. That's why you consume research. But even the stuff that you think won't go up can. Okay. While we're doing Megan's portfolio, Megan is into Hedera. Okay. Which is also busting out of a massive accumulation cylinder, like a rounding bottom, right? They didn't really do the teacup. They didn't do the handle. They just said, we're taking it up. Okay. And just a reminder about Hedera. Hedera went straight down, right? It went straight down. Like this was FTX. Just vaporized from 26 cents to 10 cents. So if Hedera gets loose, what stops Hedera? Nothing. And the fact of the matter is, there are going to be layer ones and coins that are going to be considered what I would call cheap tech. So yeah, we're going to add 80 billion to total 3. And the reason that can happen is because crypto decentralized tech is cheap. T-Bone is into Hedera and Algorand, which we covered earlier. Aiken is like, are we doing sell in May and go away? No, we are not. I know Bitcoin is trading like stocks. I think whatever it is they're going to do, they're going to do it. And it's not going to be sell the halving. It's going to be buy the halving. I know that's crystal ball stuff. You want to go into May, I think, long. Just, even if it looks terrible, long. So it's long now, wait so you can get giga long. Because, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is, I mean, you were right on time in 2020. If you caught everything breaking out of these teacup and handles, the bigger the base, the higher in the space. I mean, that's how the market update started. It was, hi, I'm your host, Bill Noble, and the bigger the base, the higher in the space, period. This is the classic chart. Okay, T-Bone has got a ton of XRP. Okay, well, here's the deal with XRP, right? Everybody had fun with XRP last year because they beat the SEC. Okay, and then the coin did nothing, and now everyone hates it. So the good news about XRP is that it's in some type of accumulation cone. Kind of looks like Litecoin. It's kind of dead. All right. Now, the bad news in XRP is that based on Fibonacci math, we could be looking at a give up trade, which hopefully isn't much of a give up trade. Personally, I think this is almost like the last thing that's going to explode this year. Like if 2025 is going to be a monster move, it'll start with XRP at the end of the year. Now, no one wants to hear that, okay? And undoubtedly, XRP Nation will be in a total state of despair. But maybe what I can do is show you Uniswap, Theta, all these things. When everyone gives up, that's when it goes. When XRP goes up, you know, Ripple is going to have to come up with some kind of catalyst. I mean, they have to be accountable to the people who own this coin. Or maybe the private sector just comes in and says, you know what, this is a fast form of money. Because I know nobody wants to talk about macro, but I don't know what people think is going to drive the next cycle. That is in the webinar, which is in Patreon. And if I may say so, is worth paying for. Okay, how quick do we get out in March and for how long? Okay, I don't know how long, but I do know that the Fed is going to stop the liquidity sugar for the banks around March 10th. I also know that March 10th, March 9th is when, or maybe March 6th is when the dot-com bubble topped in 2000. A lot of times stock market bubbles, when they kind of come unglued a little bit, it's March. And if the Fed pulls the sugar, that can be the catalyst for profit taking. However, that's not what I want to focus on right now. I want you to catch the rally, and when they're FOMOing in at 62 out of their minds in the first week in March, that's when I think we want to let stuff go. Take the money and then wait. Nobody wants to hear this, I know, but just get the money while they're doing it, because everybody who thought they were getting a dip isn't getting it. Traveler 88 also has XRP. T-Bone is looking at INJ. which is another coin that did really well on the way up and hasn't done anything since, which is making me want to think it might. Okay, so huge amount of gratification from 7 up to 40 and then nothing. Okay, so that's hidden pivot analysis. Okay, as you can see with INJ, again, they're doing this frustration trade around 38, 37.92. Okay, see what they're doing? They break it out, then they drop it. Then they break it out, and then they drop it. And then who knows? You could wake up and it could be above 38. Sometimes with these things, it pays to buy them. Like this is what Render is doing right now, below 7.6. Sometimes it pays to just get involved like right underneath. Like everyone's like, oh, I can't buy it. This whole thing about I can't buy it. As soon as you hear anyone, including yourself, including you go, oh, I can't buy this. Yeah, it's going up. It's going up if you can't buy it. Now, when it's easy to buy it, they get out. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Again, it's almost like because of the Bitcoin ETF and because the Fed is not printing money, right? Money is still relatively tight relative to what it was around COVID. You got to do this sector by sector. Okay. Travis Spears is like more likes. Okay. Let's go. Megan is like Theta left without me. Can't believe it. Okay. Travis throwing up his thing. He's looking at Phantom. I can throw Phantom up here as well while we're just busting out some altcoin overtime. Now, Phantom built a base on 38 cents. Okay. That was the hidden pivot level in Phantom. The upside target in Phantom is 47. And if it got wild, 63 cents. You know what, folks? I'm not opposed to Phantom. I just don't know if every L1 from that last cycle makes it. I don't. But I'm not opposed to anything fast. And I'm definitely not opposed if there's something, just give me something with DeFi. Like, you know, I got a good friend who's into, believe it or not, like Jupiter. It's not much of a chart yet, but you know, what happens if this whole DEX thing, or what happens if the next alt season is either, I don't know, it's like they do the Uniswap DeFi trade from 2020 on Solana, or you have base season. No one's talking about base. I wanted to look at the meme coin, Toshi. It's probably, I mean, some people dig it. I don't know if it's the thing to do right now, but I do know that people who were going to sell Jupiter may have already done so. So this is a reminder. If you like this content, hit the like button. If you really want to hit the like button, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/unhinged crypto. The link is in the description down below. It will also be a clickable link on this live stream, and it's in the comments. Okay. Crypto Crazy. We just had and there is the QR code, art by Eagle King. Always grateful for him to be producing the stream. Okay. Aiken, Lycan, Matic. Yes, that was a winner in Altcoin Showdown. Okay. Ty Guy reminding us we're at 55K. All right, people. We will see you next week and in Patreon. Premium stuff coming your way.